living a simple life, something out those aches and pains from working on the farm.
Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Check it out. You see that right there? That is a very, very, very old US made, I think it was made in Meriden, Connecticut. I don't even know the brand of it, but it's a vise, and I needed a vise for the new building. In fact, the only reason I'm not filming this in the new building is that I wanted to show that with it. It's a Vevor. Oh, sorry about that. Model number 9526. You can see the specifications there, gray, orange, and 150 millimeter opening size. Banking width is 151 millimeter, and then it has some overall size. All this is in millimeters. But we're going to open it up right now. I'm going to set it aside. I want to compare these two. You know, a lot of people talk about Chinese vices as being inferior to US made vices. Well, I put forth the idea that no vice is impervious, my friends, and I will prove it. Oh wow, okay, she's bigger than I thought. Go ahead and get that out. I got some mounting stuff in here. Okay, we'll set that aside. So it's got a wider head on it than I thought it was going to come with, which is really cool. And here it is. And let's see here. 9526 is the model number again. It's a 6-inch vise and full color. It's kind of cool. Bench vise can be used to clamp workpieces. It is installed on a workstation to clamp. It is necessary to hold the tool steady. And it has operating instructions if you need that. This is probably our install. Oh, cool. Ouch, that's awesome. So a nice template to show where to drill the holes, which is kind of a big deal. And then the main unit here. Wow, that is incredible. Look at how that's got to be 7-8 inches of width there, so that's really nice. Cool. All right, we'll put that sideways for a second. I'll show you. It does even come with the mounting hardware to drill into the wood, so I'm going to be putting this up on the workbench that I have up there, so that's nice that it comes to that. And plastic blocks. So I did not expect to see that. If you don't want, to damage the surface that you're working with, magnetic, and those can fit on the jaws to keep stuff from, it's like a soft, well, it's not too soft, but it's rubber, little flex to it to protect. So that's really nice as well. All right, as you can see on the back here, nice long threaded bolt. On the side it does say Vevor. We have our hold downs here, so this thing can be pivoted and turned and then locked back into place. And then it does have a little anvil section up on the back here, which is always nice to have for if you need to beat a pin out, a punch pin, something like that. So that's kind of cool. All right, it is coated real heavily in machine oil just for shipping so that it didn't rust the areas that aren't painted, which is, I appreciate them doing that. I'm going to clean my hands up. I'll get the camera off the tripod. We'll compare 1940s, maybe early 50s to modern Chinese. And I think you'll see quality-wise, they're about the same. This one's seen a lot of use, and you'll be surprised when I show you one of the things that has happened to this one right here. Okay, so there's that one. Here's this... let's see here if I can figure it out. The Chas Parker Corporation, Meriden, Connecticut. Chas, C-H-A-S, Parker Co. Now, when I first inherited this from my grandfather, I looked this company up. I've seen a couple of pictures of these, cleaned, restored, painted. This one's been cleaned. It's got some surface rust on it, but it functions properly. And it's roughly the same overall dimensions. The biggest difference between this one and this one being the width of the clamping section here. But what I want you to see is this right here. At some point, this was broken and had to be re-welded by my grandfather. So, when we talk about cheap Chinese metal or just metallurgy in general, I want you to keep in mind that this fine piece of American construction also failed under what I would consider to be normal usage at some point in its life. The reason that I realized that this had been broken, I thought at first, I was like, man, that's not a very high quality piece of machinery to have such a bad weld on it, or such a rough cut weld. You think it would have been machined. But when I looked up the company online, none of the other ones had that, and that's when I realized, well, this thing's been broken in half. But it still functions. And I guess that's the point I'm trying to make when you look at stuff like this, is that, yeah, you know, it might break at some point in its existence. And if you're handy, you can always weld it back together again. And a lot of this stuff is really coming up in quality. You know, this probably is equally as impressive as that was in its day as far as the quality and the metallurgy. So I wouldn't be ashamed to own something like this. In fact, that's why I got it. And of course, I'm going to be using this at the new studio, mostly for working on lawnmowers and stuff up there, tractors, riding mowers, go-karts, stuff like that. So if anything were to happen to it, I certainly will make a follow-up video, but I think it's a pretty darn nice looking piece of machinery, and I'm excited to have it. I'll leave a link to where you can get your own. And until next time, my friends, take care.